Hi, welcome to my weekly rants where we talk about what's hot, what's not, and everything in between. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. First of all, I want to say I know I've been uploading our voyage to France, and all of those videos are pre-recorded. So I wanted to take not a break, but I have something else that I want to talk to you guys about. But I was like, should I keep uploading our voyage to France, because I've been wanting to get that content out, but it's just been really difficult for me to edit and get everything out that I want to get out in the time that YouTube is allotting me. I'm new to YouTube, so I only get 15-minute uploads, so that means I've had to break up things, I've had to take out things. So anyways, I've been spending a lot of time on my France videos, but there's something else that I want to talk to you guys about. So I said, I'm going to insert this video, take a little break from uploading France stuff, and talk to you guys about the Breakfast Club interview with Fantasia. Now, I really wasn't going to do a video about this. You guys know I got my LaCroix on deck. Shout out to LaCroix. I really wasn't going to do a video about this, but I decided to go in and talk about it because I feel like what she said on the Breakfast Club regarding submission was taken out of context. And she went even further on her own Instagram to say that she knew what she said was going to be taken out of context. And sure enough, here we are. And when I say we, I'm talking about social media. I'm seeing a lot of different blogs, and even Wendy Williams had a panel on talking about it. Everybody had all these different ideas and thoughts about what she said. So I just wanted to jump in and say, first of all, I'm talking about Fantasia. I'm talking about her Breakfast Club interview. She talked about submitting to her husband, submitting to her man, and I don't want to directly quote her because, again, I don't want to take what she said out of context. So I am going to link the interview in the description box below, and you guys check it out for yourself if you want to know exactly what she said. But she was talking about submission, and she was talking about how a lot of us, meaning women, struggle with submitting to our mates in the relationship, how we struggle with kind of wanting to be the man and wanting to play the male role, and how we should be submitting to each other, basically. And I, first of all, want to say I can't agree with her more, number one. Number two, the part that no one is talking about, and the main part that no one is drawing attention to what she said, is that she spent so much time alone, having to handle everything alone by herself. And when you are put in a position where you have to raise your kids alone, where you have to provide for them without any help from anyone else, you start to feel like, can't nobody really tell me nothing. Like, I've been doing this this way, I've been doing this all along by myself. You kind of, and you establish this rough exterior because you've had to be so strong and work so hard for so long by yourself, that when you come together in a relationship with someone, all that is still there. You still feel like you're in it alone, although you're not. And I'm saying that because I'm speaking from my own experience. And I feel like nobody's pointing to, that was her main point. She was talking about how she was alone for so long and having to carry and bear so much on her own shoulders. And then when she came together with her husband, he wanted to start leading, and it was like, what do you mean? And nobody's bringing up that point. And that was one of the main points that she was making. I couldn't agree with it more, because I was in the same position when I finally decided to come together with my now husband, and we merged homes and came together and lived in the same home and started raising children together. We were bumping heads like this. constantly over everything. And it was mainly because of that. I had up until the age of 33, 34, had ran my own household how I wanted to run it, had raised my children by myself how I wanted to raise them. Nobody else was helping me. So although I was coming together with this man that I know loved me, I didn't understand that I could now step back and let him handle some of the things that I had been handling by myself for the duration of my life. And I think I don't understand why everybody's glossing over that piece of it, that a lot of times us as women, we're put in situations where we have no one else to rely on but ourselves. So we become hardened, we become stressed, we become we start feeling like we can't trust. You know, there's a lot of things that we're dealing with being put in those situations, especially as single mothers. And I want to add an extra layer on top of that, and I want to talk about us as Black women, how much more we deal with that than other groups of people. So I can relate to what she was saying, not only as a woman, but as a Black woman. We are the heads of our households all too much. And she was saying that as well, that is a part of the problem. That is a part of the dysfunction. Is that why we should not be raising our kids by ourselves? We should not be running our own households without the man there to support us and love us and cherish us and be our husbands and be our supports and lead us. You know, too many of us in a situation where we don't have that. So we're left with no other choice but to run it ourselves. It's not that we want to do it that way. We're left without any other choice. And it just disappoints me that the media and all these bloggers and everybody who wants to chime in and comment on what she's saying, that, they're taking one part of what she's saying, submit to your man, and saying that her views are archaic and, you know, you should be equal in the relationship. She didn't say that you should not be equal. That's not what she was talking about. That's not what she was talking about. We take things out of context. We hear what we want to hear. And I guess everybody's perception is based on their own reality. So based on what you're dealing with, what your circumstances are, you can take what someone says and apply it, you know, based on your own perception or how you perceive it, you know. And how you perceive something may not necessarily be what that person is saying. And I feel that that's what's happening with Fantasia in her interview. I totally agree with everything she said in the interview. I totally agree with everything her and her husband came on and said on their Instagram page. And I don't want us to gloss over her main point of the obstacle she found herself in coming together with a man that she now is married to after being by herself for so long and having to be her own advocate and her own soldier and raise her kids by herself. Women who are in those positions and then they now have to merge their life with someone else, it is very difficult, and you will bump heads because you're used to running everything by yourself. You're used to having to be so strong and so this and so that it's hard. You don't know how to let that go. You don't know how to let that down and let this partner come in and support you. It's something that you have to learn how to do. It's something that you have to be aware of, because speaking for myself, I didn't even know when I first came together with my husband that it was even an issue. I didn't even realize how much I was carrying and how much I was coming at him, you know. I think the phrase that she used is that when we're put in those positions, we come in the relationship like the man. We come in the relationship hard, like, what's up? I got this. And that is so true. I remember being like that myself, coming into my marriage like, nigga, like, what you gonna tell me? I got it all figured out. I've been doing this way before you, and I'll be doing it way after you. That was my attitude. And that is the attitude of a lot of women because they have to have it. They have to. You can't survive out here by yourself, running a household, raising kids, raising black kids in America without that type of attitude. So we do have to deal with that component of the conversation and not just gloss over it and act like that she didn't say that. Act like that's not where she was coming from. That's not the place she was coming from, because she prefaced her conversation with that. She prefaced her points with that. That's where it comes from. And that is a dysfunction. We should not have to be in those positions. But us as black women, our society keeps wanting to ignore the fact that we're the least respected, least loved, least supported group of people on the planet. And we got to keep talking about that. That narrative has to continue. We have to start changing it little by little and, move from there. But she had valid points. I totally can relate to her. I've been in her position. I'm just now 5 years into being married, 15 years being with the same man. I'm just now learning how to submit. And submission is not does not mean I'm some type of 1950s housewife. That's not what that means. I have a partner. However, my partner is the head of this household. Period. That does not mean that we're not equal. That doesn't mean I don't have say in things. That doesn't mean he tells me what to do. That's not what that means. That's not what that means, you guys. So I don't want to go on and be preaching about it, but I just want to say, I just really want to bring attention to that aspect of it, that a lot of times us as women, us as single women who have been by ourselves for a long time, and we've had to handle so much on our own for so long, when we come together with someone, it's hard to let those things go and realize that you now have a support system. And when we don't let them go, it will cause division, strife, arguments, stress, and every other thing you can imagine in your home, in your marriage. I encourage you to watch her Breakfast Club interview. I encourage you to have an ear to really listen to what she's saying, and be open-minded. And yeah, those are my thoughts. Make sure, you guys, to comment, like, share this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you later. Peace out. Peace out.